Yo, Monday, July 7th, we are back with another stream and another video. How we doing today? Oh man, yesterday, what a day in terms of strikeouts. And we should have been all over that too. We should have been all over that because as I was going through the slate and as we were talking and as you watch the video back, you'll notice how many times I said, man, there's just nothing here for batters. It's just pitchers dominate this matchup. Pitchers dominate this matchup. I said it for almost every single game yesterday. And as we went through the overall batter breakdown, we saw that there were no 10 out of 10s, only a couple great matchups. Every single game was stacked with low pitch mix ratings for batters. It had all the signs for pitchers to dominate, and I just kind of completely ignored it. So if you caught on to that and you took some of those pitcher props yesterday, good for you, man. Good for you. But the signs were there. Go watch the YouTube video back and you'll see. So many times did I mention how every game was like, oh, the pitcher dominates this. But anyways, we only got 10 games today. It is a Monday. Mondays and Thursdays are the small slates across the MLB, which makes it pretty difficult. There's not a lot to choose from on Mondays and Thursdays. So we will see what we have to work with today. Yeah, we'll go from there, I guess. Yesterday on the free plays, went 2-2, a slight 0.4 unit loss because the two, our biggest play of the day, 1.35 unit on Corbin Carroll bases lost. He went 0-for-4 with 4 strikeouts. Brutal. Someone on Twitter turned 1-40 cancer. I saw that. I did see that. That is a you need that, man. That's one of those plays where people see it and they think it's repeatable, but that's just a once in a lifetime hit. Everything had to go right, and it did. So congrats to that guy, though. That is huge. That is huge. Meanwhile, I'm stuck here just trying to turn 1 to 1,000, for being honest. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. 1 to 40,000 is just. He had the universe on his side yesterday. I'll tell you what. I will tell you what. That is crazy. But yeah, anyways. Let's get into the games here. We got game 1, Rays versus Tigers. For those of you who are new here, this site right here is the one that is flashing at the bottom of the screen, rudebets.com. 25% off with code RUDE. It's a data and software tool for helping you create better plays and better picks using data and probability modeling to understand kind of what the fair value is of these plays that you're taking. Most of the time people just take plays. They don't really know what the odds mean. They don't really know how the odds work for or against them for any specific line. And the goal of my site right here is to help you guys really understand what that fair value looks like so that when you're taking plays, you know if you're getting some good value in it or if you're not. Because that's ultimately the only way that you will, in the long run, have a chance here. So, game 1, Rays Tigers. We're going to go with looking at the money line first. Let's look at the odds here. So, Tigers are a plus 102. And the Rays are minus 120. So I don't think that the Rays have a ton of. Well, here, let me just back up for a second. We are still a TBD on the pitcher in this game for the Tigers. Right now, a lot of people listing Keter Montero. There was a Jack Flaherty listed at one point. Ultimately, we don't really know who the Tigers are going to start. I do think it'll end up being Montero, maybe for 4 innings-ish, maybe 5. We'll see. We'll see what actually ends up happening here. But we're going to assume it's Keter Montero for this, which if it is Keter Montero, I actually still do think that the Tigers have a decent shot to win this game. But plus 102, I mean, there's a little bit of value in that line for the Tigers on the money line. I don't think there's much on the Rays at minus 120. So this game is either maybe take the Tigers if you're feeling it or fade overall because I just don't see a ton of value in the money line here. It's pretty hard to really talk about the over-under in this one if Montero's not pitching, although it is 8.5, which I do have it at 9 runs total, so maybe over 8.5, but once again, still don't know if Montero's pitching. So if we look at how these guys do stack up against Montero, if he is the one that's pitching today, Brandon Lowe would be the best option here, but he is not listed on multiple books right now. He's in a couple projected lineups. I looked across the web to try to see if we're going to get some news on him. I'm guessing Brandon Lowe does not play today. But Caminero does look pretty decent against Montero. And if it's Flaherty, I like him against Flaherty as well. Caminero, if we look at his splits here, 263 versus righties, but 2 total bases per hit versus righties. He does have a home run in this pitcher matchup right here as well. Neutral overall in the pitch mix, but he does beat him on the fastball and he does beat him on the slider, which are the two main pitches. He does lose out on the third and the fourth pitch he throws, but those are only a combined 25% of the time that he'll see. So most of the time he'll see fastball slider, which I do really like for Caminero today. So he's a pretty solid option for a home run, especially with that 30% boost. Jumps him up to the, what do we get him at? Plus 455 range, which is still slightly negative expected value. But it's not as bad. It's only a couple percent points. So Caminero's on the 1 to 1,000 slip that y'all see scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now, which is a challenge slip, by the way. That is a challenge for me to try to turn $1 into 1,000 on a single slip. Outside of that, Yandy Diaz does pretty well versus righties. I like him today for general props for hits, runs, and RBIs, especially if he's hitting leadoff. So make sure you confirm he's hitting leadoff. And then Aranda also hits really well versus righties for hits, runs, and RBIs today. So, really Aranda and Diaz for general props. Caminero as a home run option. The rest of the lineup, not really interested in. On the other side here, against Shane Baz, not a ton of great matchups here for the Tigers overall. I mean, Torres is okay with a 5 out of 10. Riley Green's okay with a 5.92 out of 10. Nothing crazy here, if we're being honest. I mean, Riley Green, we had him for a home run yesterday. I will admit it. We got very lucky. We got very lucky. He hit one in the 10th inning. He was 0 for 4 going into the 10th inning, and then he hit a home run. So we'll take it where we can get it. Some luck there. But he is the best option on this team to hit a home run again today. I mean, generally home runs do come in bunches. They do. So at plus 450, I mean, I guess you could run it back. Because, like when a guy hits a home run, like, usually they hit multiple home runs over a short time period, and then they go kind of a time period without hitting any. So you could take Riley Green again if you really want to. I do like Gleyber Torres for general props, though. It's kind of about it, though, on the Tigers today. It would just be these two right here. Everyone else, they have too low of a pitch mix or too low of a batting average versus hand. So, yeah, Colt Keith just too low on the pitch mix. That's about it for Game 1. Game 2, Marlins Reds. Marlins Reds here. We have Jansen Junk versus Brady Singer. Marlins have been playing really good ball. I actually kind of like them today as an underdog. We have really good home run weather here, so the ball should be flying. If they can get some good contact, the ball should be flying here. Jansen Junk's been pretty solid this year overall. The Marlins offense has been pesky. I just watched their entire series against the Brewers. Although they did lose 2 out of 3 versus the Brewers, they could have won. Realistically, they could have won any of those games. They could have won all 3. They looked pretty darn pesky on offense. Every time the Brewers scored, the Marlins were right there knocking on the door to answer back immediately. So I like Stowers for a home run today. I really do like Stowers for a home run. I think the Marlins have a little bit of value for sure at plus 116 on the money line. Definitely more value than taking the Reds as a favorite today. Augustin Ramirez, he's on the 1 to 1,000 slip, mainly just because he fits the odds, and we are really lacking options today. But 15% chance. When you get the boost, you jump him up to about 430. So it's not terrible. I mean, it's, once again, negative expected value, but Stowers definitely the best option here for a home run on this team today, but Ramirez isn't bad as well. And with these conditions, I don't mind it. I know Ramirez does have a low 2.4 pitch mix, but if we look at it, he actually does beat him a little bit on the fastball, and he is pretty even with him on the slider, which are the two main pitches. His pitch mix is getting severely hurt by this cutter, which is only thrown 11% of the time, so I don't really hate that pitch mix. But Stowers looks like a great option today. I do think you could take like Jesus Sanchez, Xavier Edwards, or Otto Lopez for hits, runs, and RBIs as well. This should be a high-scoring game. Based on the weather conditions here, the ball should really be flying. So on the other side against Jansen Junk, none of the Reds really match up too well, especially for home runs, because he hasn't really allowed home runs this year. So kind of hard to look at the Reds for home runs with the odds that they're giving you them at. I just can't really say that I'm a huge fan of a lot of the Reds today, especially with low pitch mixes. So probably going to fade most of these guys on the Reds. There will be hits, runs, and RBIs here. They're going to score runs today. They're probably going to score a decent amount, like 4-ish runs today. But there's no data points that really give you somebody that stands out. Maybe Ellie. His pitch mix is just really low. But his batting average is solid, and it is Ellie De La Cruz. But yeah, these data points just don't give me enough confidence in any of those guys. We will look at strikeouts at the end of this slate today, or at the end of the video today as well. Game 3, Rockies Red Sox. Rockies Red Sox. Red Sox, pretty heavy favorite, minus 184 here against the Rockies. They're currently sitting at minus 232, and the other side is plus 180. So no value on either side of the money line here. Possibly Yurfee in this game, 60% chance at a Yurfee. Gomber going up against Richard Fitz. Against Fitz, Freeman with a 6.1. That's pretty solid. I do think Freeman looks good today for hits, runs, and RBIs. Hunter Goodman, for a home run today, his odds, if I remember correctly when I was looking earlier, they're low. Oh, they're not bad. Plus 330. Yeah, I think Hunter Goodman for a home run today is pretty fair value at plus 330. It's like 1% negative expected value, which isn't terrible for a home run play overall. So Hunter Goodman looks pretty solid today for a home run. Jordan Beck, not great on the pitch mix. He could be all right for a hit, but really Freeman and Goodman are way better options today for hits, runs, and RBIs. And then Mickey Moniak for a home run again today is not a bad option at plus 500. I really don't mind Moniak today for another home run. So you got some options here with Moniak and Goodman for a home run, or Goodman and Freeman for hits, runs, and RBIs. And then on the other side, a lot of good matchups here against the lefty. Red Sox offense has some guys who are just outstanding versus left-handed pitchers, specifically Romy Gonzalez and Rob Refsnyder. You could take either of these two for a home run today. I am on Refsnyder for the 1 to 1,000. He had better odds for the slip, so I took Refsnyder today. He's had some really hard contact. Let me just pull up Baseball Savant real quick and show you guys what I mean by that. This is a really good website. This is a really good website if you wanted to look into some more of like the StatCast data. Baseball Savant. We can go to the game log here. We can go to the StatCast, and we can look at kind of these exit velocities and see what he's been doing. So a lot of these are against left-handed pitchers. He had the 110-mile-an-hour ball, which hit the wall 385 feet. He had a 94. Some of these are a little bit lower, at the 82, 89, but 95 is good contact, 94 is good contact, 98 is good contact, a couple lower contact balls, and then a 102. So he's been hitting it pretty hard. And right before that, a 109, a 103, a 106, 102, 105. He's been hitting the ball really hard, so I do like that hard contact for Refsnyder today. I think that definitely helps us out a lot today. So him and Romy Gonzalez look awesome. Carlos Narvaez also looks pretty good today. Another possible home run option would be Carlos Narvaez. I also do like him for general props today. And then Story could even be a decent home run option too, sitting at plus 420. That's fair value. So you have 4 options for a home run here today with Romy Gonzalez, Refsnyder, Narvaez, and Story on the Red Sox. The offense does look pretty good against Gomber here. So got a lot of options. And then also, obviously, for hits, runs, and RBIs, I mean, I think Story, Narvaez, Refsnyder, Romy Gonzalez all look good for hits, runs, and RBIs too. So you got plenty of options here today on this Red Sox offense to make some stuff happen. Projected 11 runs, so should be a high-scoring game. So a lot of offense expected in that Game 3 Rockies Red Sox. Game 4, Blue Jays versus the White Sox. Blue Jays versus the White Sox, we got Berrios versus Burke. We do have the Jays at minus 169. Currently, they're on the money line at minus 168. So, yeah, not really any value on either side of the money line here. Jays should win this game. Let's see, 17% ballpark factor, so that's good. Good for home runs and runs to be scored today. 8.55 total runs overall. Pitch mixes against Sean Burke. We have Barger with a 5, Vladdy almost a 7, Springer almost a 6, Luke's a 6, about Kirk a 5. So we got some good pitch mix ratings here. I do like Barger today for a home run at plus 400. He was plus 390 when I checked a little bit earlier. He's currently now plus 370, so he's going down. People are getting in on Barger for a home run already today. I do like that option. I like Vladdy a lot today for hits, runs, and RBIs again, as well as Bo Bichette. So any of these 3 guys for hits, runs, and RBIs look pretty good today. Even Springer looks pretty solid for hits, runs, and RBIs. George Springer odds for a home run, though, plus 320 and plus 295. I do not love that. I think that's way too low. Let me guess, he throws a cutter? No, he doesn't. So he doesn't even throw the pitch that Springer's the best against. He's good against fastballs and sliders. He is good against most of his pitch mix, but without that cutter in there, I don't really love George Springer for a home run at plus 300. I just don't think that's good value. But Vladdy for hits, runs, and RBIs, Barger for hits, runs, and RBIs, Bichette for hits, runs, and RBIs, and even Springer for hits, runs, and RBIs is a good play today. And Barger for a home run would be the option that I would look at for the Blue Jays today. On the White Sox, nobody really matches up that well. Not much to talk about here for them. 4-2-3. Yeah, just nothing here on the White Sox really that looks worth even considering taking. So I'm out on that. Game 5, Dodgers Brewers. My Brewers got to play the Dodgers, man. This is not going to be a fun series for me. I do not have high hopes for myself in this series, but Dodgers minus 119, Brewers plus 119. Current line is Brewers plus 115, Dodgers minus 134. So no value on either side of the money line in this one. Yamamoto versus Peralta. This is going to probably be a low-scoring game. If we look at it, total 7.5. I kind of lean the... I wouldn't lean the under, actually. If we look at pitcher strikeouts here real quick, Yamamoto at 6.5 at plus money. That's not bad. And then Peralta at 5.5, minus 145. I wouldn't do that, really. Not against the Dodgers. I just don't think that's good enough value at minus. If it was closer to like minus 120, I think Peralta 5.5 would be good. But minus 152, minus 145, not a great line. If we look at how any of these guys match up, Ohtani's a 5 out of 10 versus Peralta, 23% chance at a home run. His odds for a homer are 230. It's too much negative expected value in my opinion, but he would be the only option here on the Dodgers today against Peralta that looks okay for a home run. Betts doesn't match up well. Freddie doesn't match up well. Will Smith looks pretty good today. Hits, runs, and RBIs for Will Smith could be a good play, especially if he's hitting down in fourth and you see one of these guys get on base. I could see Will Smith driving in an RBI today with a single or something like that. So I don't mind taking Will Smith today for general props. But that's about it on the Dodgers. On the Brewers, they look tough. Yelich with a 1, 2 for Contreras, a 3 for Sal. Churio's the best option here to 5.42. Churio sitting here, no at-bats. He's good against the splitter. I guess that's really, it's the splitter and the curveball, those off-speed pitches or those breaking balls, and then the splitter, split-finger fastball. Churio could be okay today for hits, runs, and RBIs if you can get him for plus money, but I doubt it. Maybe Churio just for a hit, but he has been red hot. That's the only reason I would take him, and his pitch mix is okay. But overall, no one on the Brewers really looks that good today against Yamamoto. Really, the only play in this game for me is probably Will Smith hits, runs, and RBIs, or taking one of these pitchers for strikeouts, specifically Yamamoto at plus 135. But tough game. Looks like it's going to be really low scoring. Should be pretty close. I don't anticipate much happening offensively in this one against these two pitchers. Game 6, Pirates-Royals. Negative 10% ballpark factor in this game. So not, and I mean, if you guys know, you know, but Kansas City is not a friendly ballpark for hitters for scoring runs. Usually a lot of low-scoring games happen in Kansas City. Very heavy lean to the Nerfy here at minus 159. The first inning runs line is currently minus 115. So a Nerfy could be a good play in this one if you're looking for a Nerfy today. This would be the game to do it. We got Andrew Heaney going against Noah Cameron. On the money line, we have the Royals at minus 144. They currently are sitting at minus 148, so not really a play on the money line here either because they're both not in a good spot. Plus 126 for the Pirates, not worth it. So, and minus 148, it's fair value for the Royals. So if you want to take the Royals, they are fair value, but I don't think it's a great play from a value perspective. You're not getting much in it. Nerfy does have good value. If we look at how these guys match up against Noah Cameron, nobody on the Pirates looks good at all. Like, at all. So, not a huge fan of taking anybody on the Pirates today on the offense. Bobby Witt looks pretty good today for hits, runs, and RBIs. We called him out for a home run yesterday. He hit. He looks really good today again with his batting average versus lefties at 338. I don't think I like him for a home run. He has 0 home runs this year versus left-handed pitchers. 0 in 68 at-bats. So, it's not worth taking him for a home run right now because he's never done it yet this year. Don't try to play that guessing game. It won't work. But Bobby Witt today for hits, runs, and RBIs is a good option today. Maikel Garcia also could be a solid option for hits, runs, and RBIs. Not really much for home runs in this game at all for anybody. But yeah, I do like Bobby Witt today a lot for hits, runs, and RBIs as a good leg there or a good straight if you can get good value on it. So, a little late. How are we feeling about the slate so far today? It's a Monday. Nothing really good. Nothing really happening here. But yeah, Bobby Witt looks pretty good for hits, runs, and RBIs. That's about it in that game. Game 7, Guardians-Astros. Game 7, Guardians-Astros. We have Astros minus 121. They're currently sitting at minus 136, and then plus 121 for the Guardians are sitting at plus 116. So once again, another game where there's no value on the money line on either side. Projected another low-scoring game here at 7.69 runs. Tanner Bibby versus Colton Gordon. Against Colton Gordon, I mean, Manzardo, I don't think he has any lines right now. Yeah, no lines for Kyle Manzardo, which is crazy. So I guess Manzardo's not playing today, but he would be an excellent option if he was for a home run, but he's not playing, so that's unfortunate. Kwan looks okay today for hits, not for hits, runs, and RBIs, but to get a hit, Kwan could be all right. Jose Ramirez for hits, runs, and RBIs could be a good play today. 344 versus lefties. I really do like him on the pitch mix at 6.71. I think he's your best option here today on the Guardians to take for general props for hits, runs, and RBIs. Carlos Santana, he's okay. I mean, he does have some decent pop versus lefties, 3 homers and 85 at-bats. It's not terrible. 1.52 total bases per hit. It's pretty low. Can't say I love him. Yeah, I think really the only play for here is Jose Ramirez on the hits, runs, and RBI side once again. And then on the other side, Paredes for home run. I do like Paredes today for a home run. I think his value is okay. He's sitting at plus 460. If you get him with the boost, you get him above into positive expected value on the 30% there. With our boost, we have him at plus 497, so he does become positive expected value a little bit for a home run. I like him for general props today, too, as well. I think hits, runs, and RBIs for Paredes could be a good play. Jake Myers, not really much there. Altuve, he's okay today, maybe for a hit. Same with Cam Smith. Okay, maybe for a hit today, but on the hits, runs, and RBI side here on the right, not much. Really not too much. So Paredes for a home run or hits, runs, and RBIs, that's really kind of the only play on this side. So it's Paredes and Ramirez for hits, runs, and RBIs, or Paredes for a home run. Overall, just a really tough day so far. Game 8, Rangers-Angels. Another low-scoring game, 7.23 runs. 2 good pitchers, Kikuchi versus DeGrom. Minus 138 for the Rangers. Minus 152. Okay, so minus 138 for the Rangers I think is a good play today. I think that's got some value in it. So there's a money line with some value. Rangers at minus 138. DeGrom, pitcher strikeouts for DeGrom could be good today. Let's see that real quick. DeGrom over 6.5. It is minus 155. At that point, you might as well take him laddered up to 8+, but pretty high line for DeGrom for strikeouts and 6.5 for Kikuchi as well. Angels do strike out the most in the league, though, so I do like DeGrom today, I guess, on strikeouts. It's not a terrible play, but it's a very high line at 6.5 at minus 155. Looking at the pitch mixes against Kikuchi, terrible. Everybody's terrible. Highest guy here is a 3.74, and that's Corey Seager. Wyatt Langford is the best option for a home run at 15%, plus 567 fair value. No value in that play there. On the other side, 1-1-1-1-1-0-0-0-0. Like, it's just a brutal day for batters. It's just a brutal day for batters. Probably a very low scoring game. This is a pitcher's. The game. This is Rangers money line and pitcher props. DeGrom strikeouts. You can ladder it up, but let's look at pitcher outs for DeGrom real quick too. DeGrom 17.5. Oof, minus 175. Brutal day so far. Just a brutal day. Yeah, I think really the main play here is just the Rangers on the money line. No batters really look that good. So, another really tough game. Game 9, Diamondbacks Padres. Minus 161 in favor of the Padres. Yu Darvish making his return versus Zach Gallen. You could take it if you trust Yu Darvish in his return. You could take the Padres. We did it yesterday. Taking the Brewers with Woodruff in his return, and it worked out. So, you could, but it is his first start of the year. Same exact situation as Woodruff, basically. Zach Gallen has not been that good this year. He throws a lot of meatballs. Yu Darvish, I mean, Corbin Carroll looks pretty solid today for hits, runs, and RBIs. So does Ketel Marte. Their home run odds are not that favorable. Ketel Marte at plus 450 is okay. I actually don't mind that. But Carroll at plus 300, not really worth it. I'd rather take Corbin Carroll again for total bases, even though it missed yesterday, and just ride that out. Yeah, a lot of these guys actually look okay against Yu Darvish's pitch mix. Eugenio Suarez as well for hits, runs, and RBIs could be an okay play up. 6.14 pitch mix, 270 is okay. But overall, projected to be relatively high-scoring game, I guess, considering the rest of this slate. But I do like the Padres on the money line here at minus whatever it was, minus 128, minus 126. Give me a Yu Darvish masterclass day, first game back this year. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what it's looking like it's going to have to be. But I do like Carroll and Marte for hits, runs, and RBIs today. They're okay for general props. And then Suarez as well. On the other side, Jackson Merrill for general props today looks pretty solid. Tatis for a home run could be an okay play. Fernando Tatis is sitting at plus 320. That's really negative expected value. It's like 4 or 5%. So I can't say that I love it being 4% negative expected value. It is the best percentage probability on this team. Gavin Sheets at plus 600 is the best value. Gavin Sheets for a home run isn't terrible at plus 600. So there is some value in taking Gavin Sheets today for a home run. And then Manny Machado for hits, runs, and RBIs could be a good play today. So any of these top three for general props or Gavin Sheets as a long shot for a home run look pretty solid today on the Padres. So that just, I guess, also makes me think Padres on the money line is a better play today too, because we have some guys who have some decent home run odds, decent home run value, and some really good hits, runs, and RBIs candidates here. So, yeah. Any money lines you talk about yet you really liked? Not really. I mean, Rangers and Padres so far really the only two that have had any sort of value. Everything else has been not worth taking. So, yeah, it's really just been the Rangers and the Padres so far. And then last game, Game 10, Phillies Giants. What a boring day so far. I mean, just another low-scoring game, 7.07 runs. Phillies minus 150. Phillies are sitting at minus 143. It's like 1% expected value, so that's an okay play. Given how little there is on this slate, I mean, it's not terrible. So Phillies money line could be okay. Schwarber looks decent with a 7.24 on the pitch mix. Not a great home run candidate. Landon Roop doesn't really give up home runs this year. Schwarber also hits, relative to the number of at-bats he gets, he's way better versus lefties. 2.04 total bases per hit, still really good, but he does strike out and walk at a 53% rate versus righties this year. So very high strikeout and walk rate. So Schwarber could maybe be a decent candidate today for a walk at 0.8 projected walks. Bryce Harper, decent on the pitch mix. That's really it. Schwarber and Harper, I guess, but Harper doesn't really have the hits, runs, and RBIs to go with it. So on the other side, nobody really matches up that well against Chris Sanchez. So not much on the Giants here today. If we look at strikeouts for Chris Sanchez, his line is sitting at 5.5. Chris Sanchez plus money, 5.5 strikeouts. I think that's a decent play. I think that's a pretty decent play. Jung-Hoo Lee. Let's look at these strikeout rates real quick. 20% strikeout rate versus lefties. Willie Adames, 33% strikeout rate. Yeah, we got some high strikeout rates. Elliot Ramos, 31%. Yeah, Chris Sanchez over 5.5 strikeouts looks pretty solid today. I don't mind that line. So I think Phillies on the money line, Chris Sanchez on strikeouts. Those are the two best plays in this game. Should be pretty low scoring. Let's look at what the total is real quick. Over-under in this game is 7.5. You could lean to the under, but that's a little tight. You could lean to the under if you can get it at like minus 110, minus 115, but I wouldn't do anything really more than that. Not really many options for a home run in this game at all. Neither pitcher gives up a ton of home runs, and it's negative 27% ballpark factor for home runs in this game. So, yeah. All right, let's go to the overall batter breakdown. So, 2 10 out of 10s, both are on the Red Sox. Ref Snyder and Romy Gonzalez. We talked about both of those guys being solid options for home runs today. Ruku get it done today or Yamamoto too good? There was no value on either side of the money line in that one. There was just no value, and it's going to be a low-scoring game. Just joined who looks good for homers today. It's a god-awful day for home runs. It looks really bad. And we'll go over it here real quick. But Ref Snyder and Romy are both the 2 10 out of 10s today. So I think both have actually decent. Actually, all three of these guys have good value for a home run today. So Red Sox really are one of the better teams to take for home runs overall. After that, we have no one else that's above an 8, which is a great matchup. Anything under an 8 is not considered great. Anything over 8 is considered great. Yikes, man. Yikes. Really tough day for the pitch mix. Look at these ratings. top 5 is at 7.37. Usually this is around a 9. So really, really rough day for the pitch mixes for guys. Home run probabilities, Manzardo's probably not playing. He would be the number 1 if he was. Outside of that's Refsnyder, Green, Narvaez. Negative expected value. Actually, these guys all have positive expected value, including Romy. So these guys are all decent options to take for a home run today. Shohei's negative. Hunter Goodman's negative. Stowers is slightly negative, but he's okay today. Barger, he's okay today. I mean, outside of that, there's a pretty big drop-off here. We're looking at like 15% chance to hit a home run. These are really low probabilities here. Very low. So, really, really rough day for home runs overall. But I do think the Red Sox are probably the best team to target. And then maybe Stowers and Barger, but like, yeah, you're really going to be struggling today for home runs if that's what you're trying to take. Might be a better day for pitcher strikeouts, so let's just look at that real quick. If we look at batter strikeouts, decent amount of guys at like the 1.5-ish range for strikeouts. If we look at walks, Shohei Ohtani to walk today could be a solid option. Wyatt Langford, Schwarber. Anybody above a 0.8, I do like taking for a walk unless they have a 10 out of 10 rank. So like Refsnyder today with a 10 out of 10 could be okay for a walk, but let's see what his walk rate is. 17%. Like, it's okay. Not terrible, actually. But then if we go to the leaderboard here and just look at pitcher strikeouts, DeGrom, number 1, opponent 2. So DeGrom for strikeouts could be a good option today. That's 6.5, like I said. It is pretty juiced at minus 155. But pitcher strikeouts looks like today is probably a better option than going home runs. Let's see here. Chris Sanchez at 5.5. We do like that play as well. I do like Chris Sanchez at 5.5, actually. I think that's probably one of the best strikeout plays you can find today at plus 105. Yamamoto, 6.5. That's really pushing it, but it could be done. It is plus money, so you are getting some value in his 6.5 at plus 135. Shane Baz, 5.5 for Baz could be okay. I'm right at 6. It is plus money for that. So, yeah, I think pitcher strikeouts is really the way to go today. Once again, looking at these home run odds, we at least have 10 guys above 20%, which is decent. You can pick from this list here. This is rudebets.com. 25% off code RUDE today if you use it. So, yeah, I mean, I can't lie to y'all. I just don't see a ton. Couple good money lines, but overall, just kind of a brutal day. Just kind of a brutal day. So, yeah, I think that's going to conclude the video for today. I'm going to get this uploaded on the YouTube. If you haven't dropped a sub on the YouTube, make sure you do that. Just look up Rude Bets. You'll find me. Drop a sub on the YouTube. But good luck today. Brutal, brutal day. We'll be back tomorrow for a Tuesday video that's going to have 15 games. It's going to be a lot better. So just take it easy today. Don't go crazy. I talked about where the value is. There's not much of it. Good luck, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.